Hi there everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and I've got the trailer pulled up for the new set of new heroes to drop in just a couple of days, I believe on Monday. I think all signs essentially at this point are pointing to Ascended Eir. We do obviously have her currently within the game as an enemy, and so it would make logical sense that she would get dropped into the next batch of new heroes. As for the rest of the batch, I have absolutely no idea. I feel like it could be anybody at this point. So let's just get started. Let's just get right into it. I am going to press play, wait for that title to leave, so we can be surprised as we watch together for the first time. Oh, it's a rearmed hero. Okay. That's pretty exciting. What? Robin? With the yandere eyes? Oh, she looks cool. She kinda... That... Arcane Grima. Dragonhide, hardy fighter, save skill, so she's gonna be an armored unit. Huh. Wait, so we are getting a rearmed hero that I wasn't expecting us to get one. New heroes join the... So, as for the rest of the theme, let's see here. Okay, it's Swell Sword. May as well be. That is in fact going to be Gregor. So this may be an Awakening themed banner in full. Blade of Favors, Solid Ground 4, okay? that accent. Okay. Alright, Pegasus Master. This is in fact going to be Phila. Okay, so she's pretty clearly going to be the 4-star hero of the banner. Pegasus Flight 3 as on a 4-star hero? That's actually pretty nice. With my life. Wait, what? They're doing an Ascendant and a rearmed hero on the same banner? Wait, so they're really pulling out the stops on the new hero banners. Wow, okay. Well, we've seen this art by Hachan. It's absolutely glorious for Eir. It's very majestic, very beautiful. Ymir Ever Living, Mystic Boost 4. We've, of course, gotten a preview of her abilities within the game already. But yes, okay, so we're getting both a rearmed and an Ascended hero on this banner. What is this? Are they going to keep this up? Are they actually going to do, like... any surprises here? Oh wait, is that gonna be a new version of Veronica at the top? The hairstyle definitely looks like her. I don't know. I guess I mean it could be with the story unfolding the way it is. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So new heroes are here starting on the 17th of October. We got a good bit of trailer left. Oh, Richen is also going to be appearing as a 3- and 4-star new hero. And then, of course, we have the Ascended Floret from whenever you do summon Ascended Eir. A little disclaimer and information pertaining to the rearmed heroes, of course, being able to inherit the Arcane Grima that Robin does have, and them staying in your barracks. Okay. And then, finally, there is the fact that you can spark on this banner, this being a new hero banner. So once again, starting on the 17th of October, presumably going for about an entire month, you got even color distribution on the banner. Phila is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner, and... yeah, I was not expecting them to bring another rearmed hero so soon. I was thinking they were going to spread it out a little bit more. Now, there may be even color distribution on the banner, but that does not necessarily mean that the colors are weighted evenly in terms of value. Certainly on colorless and green, we have a rearmed hero and Ascended hero respectively, and that certainly shifts the favor towards those two colors indeed. I'm not that keen on them being that aggressive with the rearmed heroes. When they first introduced them, I was kind of expecting them to to kind of leapfrog the Ascended hero and the Rearmed heroes, just to give each banner something special, but not to inundate us with that new stuff. I feel like it makes more sense to spread it out, give us time to adapt and incorporate Rearmed heroes a little bit more, piecemeal as we get them, rather than month to month. So I don't know if they're going to be this aggressive moving forward, and every month we're going to get a Rearmed hero. Maybe what's incentivizing or motivating them to do this is the fact that new hero banners in general just aren't gaining the same level of attraction that special heroes do, legendary and mythic heroes do. And they're really trying to gussy up the new hero banners in general. I think Ascended Heroes was definitely an attempt to do that. I think Rearmed Heroes as well. Another potential downside to this is that actually limits the number of slots available for actual new heroes on new hero banners. If Ascended and Rearmed Heroes take up those slots, then they're obviously going to be alternate heroes of existing heroes in the game. You're only going to have 2 devoted slots to actual new entrants into the game, so there is that downside as well. Now, they did obviate this a little bit with Richen, because Richen is going to be available in 3- and 4-star pool in addition when this banner drops. So they are still introducing the same number of new heroes that they would with an Ascended banner. So again, I don't know if this is an anomaly or not, or if this is going to be a trend moving forward. It'll be interesting to see what they do next month, if they're going to do something as similar to this, where there's going to be another Rearmed hero, they're going to drop a 3- to 4-star hero as well, or maybe this is only going to happen when there's an Ascended hero within the story and a Rearmed hero. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. I'm not entirely clear what the direction is going to be with with these new types of heroes and how frequent we're going to be getting them. But I do think it would make sense for them to kind of taper off a little bit and not be so aggressive with it. Big surprise of the banner for me being Ascended Robin here, Fell Tactician. She is going to be a colorless dragon armored unit. Her outfit obviously has some Pledgian influence built into it. You have the body stocking look, as well as the abbreviated clothing, the flowing capes, the poofed pants, all of that kind of comes together. I like the color scheme with theming with the purple, the magentas, the pinks. Robin has her signature twin tails, but has spiked horn adornments as well. You have little hip cutouts on the sides of the outfit. And then she does have a fairly intimidating look on her face. She kind of had the crazy eyes as she was flashing across the screen earlier, along with the cowl, with the high collar. It gave me vampire vibes. I was like, oh, is this like even more Halloween themed? But this is a new hero banner. But no, it's not. So, but no, I think they did a nice job on Robin here. So Robin's weapon is going to be Arcane Grima. It is going to be inheritable, as we know, 16 might, has a killer slaying effect. At start of combat, if unit has 25% or higher HP, grants +5 to all stats during combat, makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, deals damage equal to 15% of unit's attack, including when dealing damage with a special triggered before combat, so AoE specials, and restores 7 HP to unit after combat, and then adaptive damage. Okay, alright. I would say that at this stage of the game, dragons have a precious few viable, inheritable options for weapons, and this certainly fits the bill. I mean, dragons are eating well this month. Halloween brought out all kinds of not only amazing dragons, but dragon skills. And then you've got a whole new arcane weapon to go along with those. Killer Slaying Effect is always going to be good. Decent stat boosts, guaranteed follow-up attack. You have fixed damage built in based off of the attack, which is something that you're going to want to boost anyway for damage. So you're really just kind of doubling down on enhancing the damage when you're building up the unit. And then the 7 HP to unit after combat, it's not as good, I would say, as the 7 HP after each hit in combat, but still quite good at maintaining sustain. And then you have the adaptive damage element to it as well. All really solid things, and allows you to kind of customize and build the unit how you would want to. And that's kind of the important thing, I think, with the arcane weapons, is that versatility that they bring. And this definitely fits that bill. Pavis for the special reduces damage from an adjacent foe's attack by 50%. Dragonhide for the A slot. This is going to be unique to her. Neutralizes effective against armored bonuses. If unit initiates combat or foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at the start of combat, inflicts -8 to all stats on foe and grants special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack during combat. Okay, so just eliminating effective damage against armored is very, very good for her. And then as long as she's enemy phasing or has at least 75% HP, inflicts -8 to all stats, and then has a sort of a breath effect where she gains special charge per attack. Both of those are very, very good. You know, often with the A slot skill, we view those as stat boosting skills. I mean, more often than not, those are geared towards boosting the unit stats. And in this case, it's a debuff on the enemy, an in-combat debuff, which is effectively a buff for her. So, like, you know, it still works that way. So you can almost think about that as like a +8 to all of her own stats, which is, you know, more in line with what we would expect for an A-slot skill, but really with a pretty generous condition. I mean, the fact that she just needs to enemy phase or have that HP condition, and then also having the breath effect, and then the neutralizing of armored effective bonuses, I mean, that's very good. Hardy Fighter 3, this novel of a description once again. So Hardy Fighter 3 is very useful in neutralizing the enemy's ability to have guaranteed follow-up attacks built into skills. And then also we'll get instant cooldown charge basically to Pavis, which is very, very useful. And then an enhancement to the defensive special with some fixed damage reduction as well. All of those things pair very nicely with a damage reduction special like Pavis. And then attack speed near save 3. If foe uses a melee weapon and is within 2 spaces of a unit, it triggers Savior. And if you trigger Savior, grants attack speed +4 during combat. So that is interesting. It does seem like she's going to be a speedy armored unit, so heavy on the attack and speed. And despite her being an enemy phase unit, it does appear as though she is going to not really have built-in damage reduction anywhere. That's also kind of interesting to note. Usually they slap that in there somewhere with these units. Now, naturally, she can equip on her B slot dragon exclusive skills that would grant her additional damage reduction in that way. Not saying that she necessarily needs it, but Dragonhide is really, really good. Arcane Grima is definitely going to see some use and will breathe some life into some older dragons, Gen 1 dragons, that could use a little boost nowadays. And she is going to be a formidable save unit. So all in all, I think she's got a great package going on here. And definitely some coveted skills to go around. And here we have Swell Sword Gregor, rounding out more of the Awakening cast. He is going to be an infantry red sword unit. Now, naturally, that is a very, very competitive pool, so he's got a lot of competition to go up against. Art is very, very appropriate. You know, Gregor is one of those salt of the earth type of guys. You know, you can call him basic, but really effective, and I think that they pulled that off well. He looks stoic. I like the expression on his face. He looks serious, but he also looks friendly and approachable. Definitely in line with what I would expect from Gregor. So Gregor's own unique weapon is going to be Blade of Favors. 16 might, has a killer slaying effect. At start of player phase or enemy phase, if any foes are within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, inflicts -6 to attack speed and defense on those foes through their next actions, and grants +6 to attack speed and defense to unit for 1 turn. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, it inflicts penalty on foes' attack speed and defense during combat equal to 5+ any current penalty on each of those stats. And then reduces damage from foes' first attack during combat by 40%. Alright, Gregor, I see you. That's a nice little weapon. I mean, it's got a lot going on. A killer slaying effect is always good. The area of effect for the debuff is significant. That's very easy to trigger. That's going to give him an activated buff and the enemy an activated debuff, and he can capitalize on that. They're synergistic with the second part of the weapon by being able to amplify the penalty on the enemy. So he can actually self-activate his own second condition there, which is actually really helpful. The 40% damage reduction on the foe's first attack is just going to be something useful always to have. So all in all, a really solid series of things, not necessarily specialized in any way, just pretty versatile. Bonfire for the special, Solid Ground 4 for the A slot, that is going to be a new skill, attack defense +7 and res -5, so similar to the Stillwater that we've seen before. This is going to be Solid Ground. And then infantry null follow 3 for the C slot. At start of turn, grants null follow-up to infantry allies within 2 spaces of unit. So Gregor's got a lot to like here. Nothing earth-shattering by any means, but certainly solid. Solid as his personality and his looks, so, you know, just grounded, as solid ground 4 would seem to indicate. But no, seriously, I mean, I think he's got a lot going for him here. And a solid set of skills that I think you could either use for inheritance or he could take really great advantage of. The biggest issue with him is that he's got steep competition within his pool of infantry sword units, and that's always going to be the case. There's just a lot of competition there, but for what he is, I mean, he's got some great stuff. And here is Phila as a lance flyer. Possibly the second most congested movement and weapon type in the game. We've got an infantry sword unit and a lance flyer. Not terribly inspired as far as the weapon and movement type combinations, but nonetheless, definitely very fitting. She looks the part. Love the sky blue integrated into her outfit with the front flap and the side. You get a generous bit of thigh exposure with the thigh-high leggings, as is the common MO with Pegasus Knights. She has her fists perched upon her hips. She's got very serious expression on her face. All business with the close cropped hair. I do really like the embellishments of the shoulder armor there, very large and bulky. That kind of contrasts nicely with the poofy thin fabric of the actual attire. So yeah, I think she looks good. So naturally, her being the 4-star focus unit of the banner, I'm not expecting her to have amazing things or anything as far as her kit is concerned, but she comes with Rain Lance Plus, an inheritable weapon, 14 might, speed defense -5 on foe within 2 spaces during combat. I mean, a lot of these weapons that are inheritable now have really kind of taken a back seat now that we know that rearmed weapons are coming. So, you know, I would anticipate whatever the rearmed lance is going to be, it's just going to blow this out of the water. Now, that being said, this weapon is going to be a lot more accessible because it's going to be in the 4-star pool and in the regular pool, not limited in any way. And you're going to be able to get copies of her pretty easily as the 4-star focus. So availability is a component to this. You know, you can't just like completely ignore that element to rearmed versus regularly inheritable weapons. Iceberg for the special, Brazen Attack Res 3 for the A slot, Pegasus Flight 3 for the B slot. Now this is interesting because Pegasus Flight is a quirky little skill that I think has the potential to be pretty useful on the B slot. It definitely only works with certain archetypes, and that kind of limits its overall versatility and usefulness, I feel. But at the same time, seeing it kind of brought down to a 4-star hero is again very interesting to me, because I think that I would love to experiment with this skill a lot more. And I would like to see more experimentation with it, and it being in the 4-star pool now gives it that ability, so that's pretty great. Again, she doesn't have a ton to write home about as far as her overall kit is concerned, but the B slot I think is interesting. Pegasus Flight 3 being there is probably the highlight of her kit as a whole. And then here is the Life Ascendant, so we do have Ascended Eir. With the art by Hachan. It's absolutely beautiful. We've seen it in the game. Obviously taking thematic notes from Ymir, since she naturally did absorb her power for this incarnation of her, and it's just very extravagant trappings. Love the golds and the ribbons and the flowers and the ruffles. It all really comes together and gives it this vibrancy, this life and this warmth to the art that I would say. You know, with Eir's original art, it's very sterile in terms of the coloring and the shading, because it is, you know, she is meant to represent death in a certain way. This is obviously the other side to her, and even there's more, you know, lush tones with her skin. She looks more lively. You've got the glowing birds around her, the butterflies. It's just really beautiful art. It really is. So she is going to be a cavalry green dagger unit. So her own unique weapon is going to in fact be Ymir Ever Living. 14 might, has a killer slaying effect. On player phase, and or if the foe's range is equal to 2, grants +5 to all stats during combat, and bonus to units attack during combat equal to 40% of the current HP of the ally with the second lowest current HP at the start of combat. Excludes unit, a maximum bonus of 20. If unit has, if the number of allies is equal to or less than 1, bonus is 0. Neutralizes effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks, and if unit has HP of 25% or higher, Foe would reduce units HP to 0. Unit survives with 1 HP. So she has a miracle effect as well. And then, of course, she has the dagger debuff that all daggers have as well with the dagger 7 there. So, really interesting and unique mechanic here with Ascended Eir. Again, I always like the idea that the Ascended versions of the units bring, like, kind of unique elements and unique gameplay mechanics with them. I think they did that really well with Joshua. Then they didn't really do that very well with some of the more recent ones. But with Ymir here, I think they're bringing that back again, or with Eir here and the Ymir weapon, I think they're bringing that back again with this whole HP mechanic that she does have fixed damage that scales onto her weapon based upon her allies' HP levels, and that's really unique. And of course, it plays into the whole theming and the flavor of her being kind of life ascendant, right? So I do like that element to it. It's a powerful weapon as well. She gets those buffs in it, notwithstanding the fixed damage element with the HP. She gets those buffs, the killer slang effect, neutralizing things that could prevent her follow-up attack. She has sizable speed, and then so she can take advantage of that. And then, of course, she has the miracle effect as well. So a lot of great things built into that. Draconic Aura for the special. Attack Speed Catch 4 for the A slot is a very, very good premium A slot skill. And naturally, she is going to be able to take some advantage of that, being a dagger unit and inflicting the debuff with her dagger. Mystic Boost 4 for the B slot. Inflicts -5 on foe during combat. Disables skills that provide adaptive damage, and also disables skills that would allow staff users to do their full damage. If foe uses a staff, neutralize effects that prevent units' counterattacks during combat, and restores 10 HP to unit after combat. So that is very, very solid overall. So similar with Mystic Boost 3, this skill is certainly going to be useful to have. I think Mystic Boost 3 really started to shine as a seal rather than the B-slot version of it. So it's still very specialized in what it does. I think it has built-in value with the attack debuff here with the 4th iteration or the 4th tier of the skill. 10 HP to unit after combat. The restorative effect is always going to be useful. The other elements are certainly specialized against certain threats. I'm not obviously the most thrilled to see another counter to staff units, given my prevalence of using Brave Camilla, but that notwithstanding, I think this is going to be a great counter to those specific threats on the battlefield. And it's not as though Eir as a cavalry unit is going to be hurting for powerful B-slot options. If you don't want to run Mystic Boost 4 on her, she certainly has the option of running a trace skill or something to that effect, a lull skill. Not short of options there. But Mystic Boost 4 is certainly a powerful asset, especially depending if you know what threat she's going to be facing in a particular fight. A Sparkling Boost for the C-slot at start of turn restores 10 HP to ally that has been dealt the most damage, excluding unit. So she does maintain that unique C-slot skill. So as far as Ascended Eir is concerned, there's a lot of great things going on here. The vast majority of value that she's got is definitely built into her weapon. That's the unique element that kind of sets her apart, and it has so much built into it, and she does a lot of great things with it. That additional fixed damage, I can see strategies revolving around maintaining and ensuring that she has that fixed damage element maxed out as often as she can. It maxes out at 20. That's a lot of fixed damage. It really is, and then having the miracle effect for her own survivability is going to be just annoying to deal with. You're not being able to prevent her from follow-up attacking is definitely an important asset. The killer slaying effect, the stat boosts, all of that is really great. The rest of her kit, the Mystic Boost 4, again, I think that it's going to be useful in certain... it's definitely has broader use than Mystic Boost 3, because it has that debuff, and it has the more restorative element of 10 HP versus the 7. So it definitely has that going for it for sure. If it were a seal, obviously it would be a very, very different story. Mystic Boost 3 was one of the best, if not the best seal when it came out for a very, very long time. But again, as a B slot, there's a lot of competition there. But it is going to be useful. So once again, starting on the 17th of October, and once again, presumably going for an entire month, we've got special Rearmed Robin and More. Definitely, poor Ascended Eir is just tucked into the and more there. But obviously, the two highlights of this banner are going to be the Rearmed Hero and the Ascended Hero. I don't think there's really any debate over that. The 4-star Phila is fine. Gregor is fine. But I almost feel like they doubled up on this banner, specifically because they felt like Phila and Gregor and Richen were not going to be able to carry a banner on their own. And to be honest, they were probably right. I mean, these characters have their fans, and people like them. But again, as far as driving a banner, that may not be the case. And maybe that's why this is an exception, where they're having both an Ascended hero and a Rearmed hero. Again, I personally would rather them not be that aggressive with the release schedule for Rearmed and Ascended heroes like this. As far as the pick for Rearmed Robin, I like female Robin. I'm a fan of female Robin, so I don't really mind it. It does make me question, given the fact that there are so many potent and powerful divine dragons out there and dragon options, could they have gone with somebody different? And we have a lot of Robins in the game, but, who am I to talk? I run Camilla Emblem and I love Camilla, so, she has no shortage of alts, so I don't know really if I can say anything there. So all that being said, I do think the value of the banner is pretty outstanding. Once again, we don't know how Rearmed heroes are going to be reintroduced, and they are at this point still limited in nature, so they're not going to be in the regular summoning pool. Ascended heroes are, but even then, having a sort of a guaranteed Ascended hero has a lot of value, and it being a new hero banner, there is a spark. The fact that there is, Phila and Gregor, and they're not the most amazing units in the world, does counterbalance it a bit, but I don't think it doesn't shift it so much where it makes the banner less appealing. I think that there's still like a ton of value on this. I'm certainly not going to go so far as to say that this is a must summon, but it's a very, very tempting one, and especially if you have any dragons in your barracks that are itching for a new toy to play with, that could push things into the must summon territory for you. For me personally, I'm gonna have to mull this over. I'm leaning towards summoning on this. I really kind of feel like I need a banner to skip because my orb count has been hurting lately, but I don't know, it's hard to say no. And maybe I just won't summon it on day one. Maybe I'll just wait to see what else is coming down the pipeline first. But and remember, you always have that option too. You can always wait it out, see what else is coming, and what else tickles your fancy before you jump in. Don't feel like you have to summon on day one that the banner drops. But let me know in the comments below if you're excited for Ascended Eir, if you're excited for Rearmed Robin, for Gregor, for Phila, for Richen. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.